I've been testing the power of digital products for the past 6 months, and I've realized what it takes in order to get an average of $300 a month from digital products. Now, I say average because some months are high and some months are low. But before we get started in today's video, make sure you grab the freebie in the description below. So with that being said, let's get into it. So for today's agenda, we're going to be talking about what it takes in order to validate an offer quickly with the power of bundles and order bumps. The second thing that we're going to be talking about is the funnel that I use to turn free leads into paying customers. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is the activities you need to do in order to make daily sales with digital products. So let's talk about what it takes in order to validate an offer quickly with the power of bundles and order bumps. Now, before we get into the strategy, there is one thing that you need to know when it comes to creating a product. And the one thing that you need to know is that you need to be paid upfront in order to create it. Hear me out. Now, in $1 Million Weekend, they talk about this concept of pre-validating your offer. And the way that you pre-validate your offer is by getting paid to create the product. Now, most people, when they think about validating their offer, they want to take the long way, right? And so when I say the long way is they want to create a website, they want to create a blog, or maybe they want to build an app. Well, at the end of the day, in order for you to validate the idea, the best way for you to validate that idea is with cash, right? So when we're thinking about how can we validate our offer quickly, I'm not necessarily thinking about how do I build a website to present to my clients, right? Because if you have no clients, it doesn't really make sense for you to create a website. So the best way that you can do it is talking directly to your potential customers, right? And so if you're trying to think about how to do this in a digital format to promote and sell digital products, the best way that you can do that is through Reddit communities, Facebook groups, any type of online forum where you can actually validate that people actually want to purchase your product. The simplest way that I've been able to do this is create polls on Facebook or Reddit and ask them, like, what are your pain points, right? So if I were to identify their pain points, then that will give me insights in terms of what product I want to create. And from that point on, I would reach out to those individuals who polled on that, social post, and I'd reach out to them and say, hey, I'm creating this offer. Would you like to purchase it before I actually create it? And if you purchase it, then I can give you a discount, right? So the whole premise behind creating and validating your offer is that you want to get paid cash up front in order to create it. Now, the other quick way, if you don't want to go to the rabbit hole of Reddit communities, what you can do is you can leverage order bumps when you are promoting your free products through bundles. Now, this video is going to teach you all the strategies that you need to know to pre-validate your digital product idea. But essentially, in a nutshell, what it is that when you participate in a bundle, you have the opportunity to get mass amounts of cold traffic to your offer. And in that bottom section, there is an order bump where people can add to their order, right? So if they're adding to their order, they're adding the pre-sale idea, the product itself, into their checkout page. And what that allows you to do is to turn that cold traffic into pre-validation sales. Now, obviously, since this is a pre-validation, you obviously want to include language in the order bump that this is a pre-sale. You have not created the course yet, but because you have not created the course yet and it is a pre-sale, you get the benefit of, or they get the benefits of actually getting a discount. You get the benefit of having cash up front to create the offer. Now, let's talk about the second piece of the funnel that it takes in order to turn free leads into paying customers, right? So the simplest funnel that I know in order to turn free leads into paying customers is basically a freebie to offer funnel. And so when we think about what this looks like, on the front end, you have a freebie. Think of this as exactly what it is. You are giving something to your audience for free. So this can be a template, guide, checklist, whatever it is that you think is going to help your audience. You want to make sure that the freebie is related to the product that you'll be selling later in the funnel. But this freebie is going to be helpful, right? And so when a person actually signs up to get that freebie, you want to make sure you're grabbing their email. Now, you have this freebie, and the moment that they click the subscribe button to grab that freebie, you're going to automatically redirect them to a page, which is your sales page for your digital product page, right? And so in order for you to create action and sense of urgency, I would recommend on this digital product page, you have some type of urgency timer on the top where it gives a person incentive to purchase the product within a limited time window, right? So that is the front end in the sense of what they'll see. Now, the reason why I say that it's important for you to grab their email is because on the back end of you promoting your product is you're going to be sending them a set of emails to purchase the product, to give value, to give them insights, and then ultimately to take that urgency time period and help them make a decision on whether or not they want to purchase your product, right? And so when I think about, what these 3 emails consist of, the first email that I'm thinking about is you want to lay out the plan in terms of, I think it's really important when you're going to be selling anything, you want to give the expectation to your audience that you are going to sell, right? And so that is my first email. I call this email 0, where I just lay out the plan. And then towards the end, I'll say, if you don't want to receive these emails, you have an opt-out option. But if you do want to receive these emails, here are 3 days of value. This is what the schedule is going to look like, right? And so during those 3 days of value, my goal is to solve their pain points, right? So if I know that the offer that I'm going to be creating is going to help them, solve X, solve Y, solve Z, then I'm going to be talking about those during those 3 days of value, right? So we have really so far 4 emails, the stage 0 email, which is talking about the plan, and then 3 emails talking about the value and the insights and solving their problems. Now, the last email is the final call to action, where this is your final invitation, right? I like to keep this email very short, very sweet, where it's essentially like, this is it, where like, this is your last call. If you want to go ahead and move forward with this offer, here's the link to purchase this product, and here's the bonus that you could get during this expiring limited time urgency period, things like that, to give them an incentive to purchase now versus later, right? And so this is the offer, right? And essentially that is the funnel. On the front end, you have your freebie, and then you're redirecting it to an offer. And then on the back end, you have the 4 set of emails to promote and sell your offer and have that follow-up sequence. Now, when I think about how do I get consistent traffic to this funnel, the best way that I can do this is leveraging your own audience, right? So some people like to leverage their social media, some people like to leverage email marketing, things like that. My best way to do this, honestly, is through email marketing. And here's why I'm going to say this. If you have a person who is already joining your email list, then they've already agreed that they want value from you. And if you have digital products and you are applying this funnel to every different type of digital products, so say for example, you have digital product A, which is funnel A, freebie, and then offer, digital product B, funnel B, freebie, offer, then what you can do is you can create an email sequence where basically a person who joins your list, you can randomize the freebies, right? And so what I say randomize the freebies is I will create a step sequence where a person will join my email list, and then maybe 2 months down the line, I'll give them a promotional campaign where I'm promoting and saying, hey, grab this limited time freebie because it's going to help you do XYZ. And so what that allows me to do is it allows me to give value to my audience because I'm giving them a freebie, but I'm also driving more traffic to my offer so that I can sell more products later down the line. Right? And so it's not always about getting new followers or getting new, subscribers. Sometimes it's really just leveraging the audience that you already have, but just directing traffic in different areas, right? And so as I've been able to leverage my current traffic streams, I'm actually able to sell more courses, sell more digital products, because it's easier to sell to a person that you've already sold to versus getting a brand new customer. And so I really like to think about that from that point of view. Now, if you're also thinking from the other layer of like, okay, I can build out these funnels, how do I create more daily opportunities to get paid? This is where I'm going to recommend you use the framework of the daily email. And the daily email is essentially where you talk about story, lesson, call to action, right? So draw inspiration from your personal life, and that will create and inform your stories, and then create lessons in the sense of, what are the things that your audience could have learned that you'd like to share with your audience? And then on the bottom of the email, you can kind of create a link from the lesson to story and to the call to action. For example, it could be like, if you don't want to have the same scenario that I mentioned in the story, then this course is going to be able to help you do XYZ, right? And so that's a very simple framework that I use when it comes to writing my daily emails. But the thing that I've learned is that if you want to increase your monthly revenue streams with digital products, then you definitely want to make sure that you're creating more opportunities to get paid from your digital products. Now, in terms of a recap, the one thing that I would say is make sure you validate your offers with bundles and order bumps in order to turn that cold traffic into pre-sales. And the second piece that I'm going to say is make sure you create this simple funnel where you have the freebie and you direct it to your offer, and you want to make sure you have the back end of all those emails. And the last thing is, if you want to create consistent sales, then definitely do daily emails and use the story, lesson, call to action framework. So if you've gotten value from this, make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure to watch this video to learn all about all the strategies I've used in order to be able to add thousands of email subscribers to my list. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.